Memphis. Nothing but Memphis.
Nothing but Memphis. Showboats right here on the Captain's Log. I am your host, Brandon, aka the Captain. I wish I could be debuting this sweet new shirt. I know y'all noticed. Elephant in the room. Let's address it. Let's get it out the way real quick. Yes, this is a shirt with my face, my logo all over it. All right. Shout out to the boy, Bill Alexander, vintagevarsity901.com. Vintagevarsity901. All right. Get your yacht club merch. Get your Showboats merch. My boy Bill hooked me up with that flag. He hooked me up with this sweet shirt. Look at that. Look at that. Probably won't catch me wearing it outside, just to be honest. I'm not that egotistical, but it's awesome for shows. Appreciate Bill. Appreciate the whole yacht club. And hey, I wish this could have been win number 6, right, guys? We were on a roll. We started off the season terrible. We were finishing strong in the captain's chair, control of our own destiny. Had to win 2 games to secure a playoff spot. First game was this week against the Breakers. They came to Memphis, and it was awful. We got boat raced. All right, the Showboats got boat raced. Absolute terrible game. Just the Breakers clearly showed up. They showed out, and they wanted it more. That was a Breakers team that we beat early in the year to kind of send them into a little bit of a spiral. They were on a 4-game win streak before they came to Memphis, or before we went to Birmingham, and ruined their little 4-game win streak they had. And boy, did they not forget. Okay, they came in to Memphis and let us know that they remembered that. So sucks to see it. Tit for tat right there. We were on a win streak that got ended by the Breakers, and the Breakers were on a win streak that got ended by the Boats. But I'd rather be the Breakers because their playoff hopes are still kind of alive and ours not so much. But before we get to that, let's talk about the game a little bit. Again, not much to talk about. Kareth White was injured early in the game, only had 3 rushes before he got folded up on in an ugly gang tackle. Did not look good for him. He wouldn't come back into the game. A lot of Jawan Washington, and it looked like at some point we just kind of abandoned the run game at all. Cole Kelly ended up attempting 41 passes, which is just insane. Cole Kelly's not that type of quarterback. He's not the guy to drop back like MBT and give you 40 pass attempts a game. This is a guy you need to keep him around 20, 25 attempts, hand the ball off, play action, matriculate the ball down the field. Cole's a gamer. The dude, we all know that. He's a tough SOB, but not a game, not a situation where I want to see Cole Kelly throwing the ball 41 times. So other than that, man, the Breakers showed up. They wanted it more. There was a 3-hour rain delay in the game, which was just absolutely awful, especially you sit through the rain delay, and then the Boats still put on that performance that they did, and it's like, man. I tell you, it was a rough day for me. All right. Covering the team, I had to sit there through the rain delay, watch the whole game, wait for the game to come back on, biting my nails, hoping, all right, the boys are in the locker room. They got a chance to recoup, maybe adjust the game plan. Nah, nothing happened. I don't know what happened. But the Showboats defense is still the Showboats defense. They definitely tried to keep us in this game. Jordan Williams with a couple sacks. Love that dude. He's came in this season. His first season in the USFL has been absolutely awesome. I think he missed a few games there in the middle of the season, but every time that dude's out on the field, you got to watch out for him. Troy Warner is going to be my pick for player of the week this week. The dude is the tackle leader for the Showboats. Every week he's getting double-digit tackles, it seems like, flying around the field. He just like his big brother for real. All right, Fred Warner in the NFL tackling machine. Troy Warner in the USFL tackling machine. All right. Shout out Troy. There's been a couple weeks where I wanted to give it to Troy, but I just felt like another guy might have had a better game. But this week, all Troy. Way to go, Troy. So I mentioned the playoff hopes a little bit there, and we are effectively eliminated. I think if I had to put a percentage on it, it's like 5% or maybe 1% because it's so ridiculous. I'm not going to sit here and try to rack my brain with all the scenarios of how the Showboats can get in. And I'm not going to pretend like I know all the scenarios for the Showboats to get in. Okay, with all these tiebreakers and stuff, I don't know. I ain't smart enough for that. But there's a fella on the Twitter. Go give him a follow. He's a good follow. If you like Stallion stuff, he's a good follow. He ain't our guy Buck, but he's another Birmingham guy. At Luke Miller PFN. He's got little spreadsheets with all those scenarios for the South teams. I don't think he does the North. I think that's more for Panther Shadow over there, doing his thing for the North scenarios. But Mr. Luke Miller from the USFL newsroom put out a tweet that said, here's the most realistic scenario he could come up with for the Showboats to make the playoffs. So we need Michigan to win because for some reason that helps us somehow. I don't know why, but Houston needs to win by about 26. Okay, so Houston needs to beat the Breakers by 26 points. Memphis then has to beat the Stallions by 37 points. Okay, doable, right? Easy, no problem. Who are the Stallions? Defending champs? Who cares? But seriously, that is a tall mountain to climb. And you need other people to do things for you too, which usually never goes out the way that you want them to. So sucks that we are no longer in control of our destiny, but we can control how we show up week 10, last game for the Yacht Club, playing for pride. Let's be honest. We're playing for pride. The Stallions absolutely whooped our earlier this season, week 2, 42-2 thrashing. Everybody remembers it. Everybody remembers Todd Haley after the game. Hey, Skip, we'll remember that, Skip. All right? We'll remember that, Skip. Hopefully we do. Hopefully we do because we forgot how to play a little bit against the Breakers. But maybe that's just because we were saving all of our energy for the Stallions. I don't know. But we were also without Jeff McCulloch and Kyrie Woods, two of our star defenders. So I'm sure that didn't help at all. You know, I'm thinking maybe, I don't know. Anyway, sorry. Went off on a tangent there. Stallions, next week, they come to Memphis. They beat the hell out of us last time we played them in Birmingham. We need to get this win here. Let's end the season on a high note. This Yacht Club crew that's been showing up and showing out every game day, going to the coaches' shows on Tuesdays. These guys deserve to see their Showboats win and go off into the sunset in style. Not to the playoffs sunset. You know, we got a different sunset over here. The playoff sunset's real nice, but if we can't have that sunset, I like this sunset over here. You know, it might be in my background maybe. I think I'm in front of the sunset. Anyway, get the win against the Stallions. I feel like they'll probably rest some guys. Honestly, the Stallions have nothing to play for. They don't gain anything from a win this week. They're locked in. They're going to host a playoff game. It's all set up for them to go back to the chip. So we could see Scooby. I think we'll see Scooby. I think what Skip was going to do, he's going to throw the starters out there because, I mean, these rosters are small. You're limited to what you can do. I think maybe, just maybe, they sit Alex Magoo down this week. I know the dude's wild. Okay. He does not care about his body at all. Okay. Every play, he feels like he's going to win the game, it looks like. And he does at the end of the day. So I feel like Skip's going to have to sit Magoo down for his own good because I know he's been nursing some rib injuries and he's been blasted all throughout the season. You know, he likes to run a little bit, do his thing. I think Skip maybe, just maybe, sits Magoo down. They'll have Jalen Morton with Kyle Sloter as the backup. And I think that might be the quarterbacks we'll see. Even then, they can't sit all the receivers they got. They can't sit the defense they got. I think this is Scooby Wright's first game that he's eligible to be back off of injured reserve. It feels like you're definitely not going to keep that guy off the field. He was itching to get back a couple weeks ago for the Stallions' last home game. And I'm sure he wants to knock off some rust, get out there, get a couple series under his belt, and get reacclimated to that football speed. Injuries kind of set you back. You can practice with the team and stuff, but you really need to get into that football mode again. So I feel like we'll see Scooby. I feel like most of the starters will be out there. And the Showboats, we should have Kyrie Woods and Jeff McCulloch back. We should be fully healthy with all of our starters back this week. I really hope this is the week that we see Cole Kelly maybe take over a game. Maybe we see a nice little 24 of 30, about 300 yards, couple touchdowns, no interceptions. But that'll kind of hinge on whether or not Kareth White will be healthy enough to go, because it feels like the way he can get going these past few weeks before he got injured and before he got injured before that, the dude's awesome. Quick as hell. If we can get him back and have Juwan, that will give us that nice 1-2 punch again. Cole will be able to hand it off a couple more times. Juwan was probably he did not go into that game expecting to be running back one. He was expected to split a workload, and then Kareth gets injured. It's like, all right, Juwan, this is what you're here for. Running back one, baby. So tough. Going to be a tough game. Stallions, they're the Stallions. Ain't much to say about it. If you ain't watched them, go watch some tape on the Stallions. They find a way to win, man. I don't think I've gone into a Stallions game this year that I've watched where I've been like, I don't know. Stallions might lose this one. No, never. Always a chance for the Stallions to win. Not really a chance for the Stallions to lose. Obviously, they've lost a couple, but like I said, I just don't think they've ever lost a game where you're like, oh man, is that the same Stallions? Are they kind of losing a step? Nah, they're not. So that's all I got for you guys this week, man. Depending on what happens next week, show agenda be a little different. Obviously we'll talk about the game with the Stallions, but then after that, no more boats talk really. What's there to talk about? So we'll talk a little bit about the playoff situation, what the playoff looks like, maybe my picks for the week. I'll let you know. We'll do a little dive into what the other teams are doing. The other teams that get to go have fun and be in the playoffs, and the teams that don't get blown out by 40 points, by 28 points, those teams seem to have a good time, But for me personally, if you were asking, did you ask? I don't know. I'm going to tell you anyway. I would like to see the Gamblers get in just for a little bit of shakeup personally, and because of what the Breakers just did to us. It would be nice to see Stallions, Gamblers. They got a good little rivalry going there. Those two seem to play each other real hard. Not to say the Breakers and the Stallions isn't a good rivalry as well. I just think we've seen that game, 5 times already over the past 2 seasons. It'd be nice to see a little shake up there. But again, guys, like I said, wish this bad boy could have been debuted on a win week, but is what it is. Again, check out Vintage Varsity 901. Hit this little subscribe button down here to be tuned into the USFL network. Go follow me on Twitter. I hate this backwards thing, man. Go follow me on Twitter, wherever it is right there. But the ship has sunk. But we got one last ride, boys. One last ride to sail off into the sunset. We got one engine left. The other engine's blown. We're just trying to putter our way to land, fellas. All right? Once we get to land, it'll be with the Stallions, it'll be with a Showboats win over the Stallions. All right? Until next week, thank you guys. Go Boats.